Hi guys, welcome to the latest of my GDL vlogs. Today I'm going to talk to you about being on the GDL, managing extracurriculars alongside the GDL, and also I'm going to talk a little bit about BPTC interviews, BPTC scholarship interviews, which is also something that happens during the GDL as well. So on to managing extracurriculars on the GDL. When I say extracurriculars, I mean things like pro bono projects, volunteering, because as you all know, or any of you that's done your research who wants to go into becoming a barrister, it is a lot of that depends on showing your interest and dedication to the law through doing things like pro bono. Now, I am one of the student directors for the School Exclusion Project at City Law School, and I know pretty much everyone on my course is involved in pro bono in some way or another, and balancing it alongside your degree is hard. I know as directors for the project, we do find it sometimes difficult when things started to get demanding during the GDL year, that we found it harder and harder to get reps to take on cases. And I think that when you go into the GDL, you need to have you need to really manage your time and structure it. Make sure that each of the different areas that you need to be focusing on and giving energy to are getting that time and energy from you. It's a bit different because I am obviously doing a lot of admin work as a director, but even as a rep, you still need to make sure that you're making time for your pro bono. And you've got to make that time for pro bono, unless you know for sure that after the GDL you're going to maybe work for a year, or you're going to have other opportunities, perhaps a long internship over summer. I would say make sure your time is organized so you've got time to dedicate to that. It is possible with effective time management. Pretty much anything is possible as long as you're organized. And I really want to highlight this. Make sure you're putting time and energy into something that you care about, something that fits with the area of law you want to practice. Barristers are often people who have had quite a long engagement in whatever area of law they're interested in. Obviously things are a bit different. Say if you want to go to the commercial bar, which is much more academic, there it's much more heavily weighted on your academics, and that's probably what you'll be putting most of your emphasis and energy upon. But if you want to do, say, human rights law, immigration law, you need to have had tangible experience. And I know many chambers are very explicit about this fact. So it is possible and it can be done. Just make sure that you're giving up that time for it. The other thing I want to talk to you about is scholarship interviews. Now, for those of you who will go on to the BPTC, pretty much all of you will probably go for scholarship interviews because the price of the BPTC is quite high. It's a big commitment, especially if you've come from an undergraduate degree to do the GDL and do the BPTC. It's pricey, and so scholarships are gold dust. Not just that, scholarships are also quite an affirmation of your aptitude as an aspiring barrister, and it really gives that message that you have what it takes because they've seen something in you. Now, I'll just talk about what I experienced during my BPTC scholarship interview and probably what you'll experience as well. So I went for scholarship interviews at Inner. Inner's quite unique, Inner Temple. Inner Temple's quite unique in the fact that it interviews everybody. So if you apply for a scholarship interview, you will sit in interview. Now, what they do is they hand you an option out of 3 different cases. You read those cases, and then they want you to essentially distill the essential facts of the case, what the ratio was, what the decision was, what the arguments made by counsel were, and that's the first test of how well can this person clearly and concisely explain information. And it's important to have that skill, obviously, as a barrister, because that's your whole job. So that was the first step. We had about 30 minutes to read the case. And then we went in, and it was really an opportunity to highlight and clarify things that were on your application. So I will say, don't rush over your scholarship application, but at the same time, a lot of things might have happened in the time since you sent your application off. I know I sent my application off in November, and after that, so many different things had happened that I was dying to tell them. So make sure you go in there knowing what you want to say, and it's any opportunity you can, throw it in there. the panel was quite small. It was 3 barristers, and they were really, really, really kind. They were really they really were there to listen. And what they want to know is, do you want this? Do you have the energy, the motivation to go all the way? That's what I got from my questions, at least. And they aren't there to trip you up. They aren't there to intentionally, make you confused or leave you like they're not there to do that. They just want to know, does this person not only have the passion but also have the energy? Do they have the skills, and can they show it to me? And that's what the panel needs to see from you. So I would say, before you go into your scholarship interview, just sit and really, really think, why do I want this? And really, why do you want this? And I mean that in the, don't give the, the cookie cutter answer because, I love the advocacy, but really, why do you want this? And when I was in my scholarship interview, I told them, I said, I know that as a black woman going forward to aspire to become a barrister, that I'm going to be breaking barriers. I know that I'm going to be really somebody who is an inspiration to other people of black and ethnic minority who want to aspire to the bar. And I said, I want to carry that into everything I do. And I told them about how I want to fight for justice. I told them about all the different things I'm interested in. And what was good is that I had a whole host of extracurricular things to talk about. I had mooting. I had an article that I wrote for a student journal. I had my pro bono work. I had my other work experience that I'd done that I could draw reference from and talk about. And what all these things do is they serve as evidence of why you are passionate about this and why you have the energy to go all the way. So that's definitely what I'd recommend you do. And the last thing for the interview is they do ask you to deliver a piece of advocacy for like 1 minute. That's hard. Talking for 1 minute is really hard, especially when you're a blabbermouth like me. But I would say in that moment, don't waste it. Talk about something that you really know that you can deliver excellent advocacy on. I chose to talk about black women's hair in the workplace, and you can talk about any issue that that will come naturally to you, because at the end of the day, in that scholarship interview, they have such a small time to spend with you. They need to know who you are, why you want this, and pretty much find out as much as they can about you in the time that you're there. And that's difficult, but you gotta go in there feeling confident about yourself. They're not there to trip you up, and it's really an opportunity for you to shine. So see it in that way. And if you don't get a scholarship, obviously financially that can be a massive blow, and it can be quite disheartening, but it doesn't say anything about you. You don't have to have a scholarship to be a successful barrister. There are many barristers who didn't get scholarships for the BPTC. But the emphasis is, whilst you're there, give it your best shot. If you don't get it, dust it off and try again. Pretty much every single law school that does the BPTC will offer scholarships that you can also apply to, and there are other sources of funding that you can look into as well. So yeah, those are my tips for scholarship interviews and also doing extracurricular things along the GDL. I hope that this video has been helpful, and if you have any further questions about the GDL or anything you want to ask me, please just send me a message or email me at blessing@blessingatthebar.com, and I'll put all of my details in the box below. See you guys later. Bye.